La la la, yeah. Huddle up, going deep, first and 10, call a play, I'm on it. It's a blitz, not again, 46, bring the heat, baby, we ain't punting. Big ball, better trust, Hail Mary, just trust.
Welcome back to another episode of Run It Back NASA. Today, we celebrate Victory Monday. Pittsburgh Steelers had a great win down in Dublin, Ireland. A win is a win. I know people keep saying that. I know I keep saying that, but it really is. But when I say a win is a win, I don't say that as if we snuck out of there or got lucky or anything like that. When I say that, I'm saying that is what I'm seeing is exciting. What I'm seeing is something to be excited about. Now, of course, there's things that we have to work on, but I feel like people are, kind of indulging in that way too much when there's way more positive that's coming out of all this stuff. And, when it comes down to football, when the mistakes that are being made are self-inflicted wounds, that's not what you want to see, but that's the problems you rather deal with because that's something you can easily fix. Now, if we were just outmatched or there's an area we're so weak in that we just will be exposed forever, then that's when it's like a win is a win, you'll take it. But I feel like we're in a very good position. We got some things rolling for us. We're about to go into a bye week. Then we get our communication. We'll probably get JPJ back, which is something people are just forgetting. That was our one. That was cornerback one last year. We were thinking, he's going to be a great cornerback here for the next couple years. A lot of years actually. Being a staple here in the Pittsburgh Steelers nation. So, that's something we can't forget about. But now let's get into this running game. That's what we came for. Came to run it back. We're running back next. Okay. So we were without Jaylen Warren. Okay. And I put up a post last time. It was a snippet from my last video where I was talking about how Jaylen Warren kind of left some yards out there because of his run style. He likes to get left and right a little bit more than, most backs, which is okay because it works for him. But sometimes you can overdo it and it just doesn't gel right. Now, I remember when we first got Kenneth Gainwell, I was super excited about it because he really fits what we do in our scheme and our zone scheme, where it was seeming like a lot of, even when Najee was here, a lot of our runs were there and they just had to get downhill and just, kind of hit it up in there and not trying to go left and right or try to make everybody miss. You cannot make everybody miss. And this is the NFL. These dudes are serious. So, you got to get downhill and get straight to it. And I think Kenneth Gainwell did a great job of that. He maximized his opportunity. And I feel like he maximized his yards on every play, which 19 for 99, I mean, you can't get better than that. I mean, you can get better than that, but, that was pretty good. That's what you can ask out of your second string running back, you know what I mean? And that's why I do this, because on the tape, it doesn't lie. And you can see certain things where it's like, okay, maybe the O-line isn't as bad as everybody's saying. Like, maybe the running back isn't hitting the right hole. Maybe he isn't. And it may look like it from the broadcast view, but you got to break down that 22 because it'll show everything. Sometimes there might have been a lane there. And yeah, maybe he would have only got 4 more yards, 5 more yards, 3 more yards. But it all counts. It all counts. And I think Kenneth Gainwell did a great job of that. Now, with that being said, let's get into this film. Let's break down this 22. See what we got. Let's go. Here we go. Let's get right into it. First thing I want to point out, I know a lot of people noticed it, but I think it was a fantastic job of the Steelers placing Calvin Anderson at tight end as well as Darnell Washington to give us kind of a better blocking set. We also threw out of it as well, so I love that. I think it worked out great. I think we found something in that we can utilize. And let's go. First play in that set. Look at that push over there. Nice, Kenny. Nice. Little dip in there. Nice little dip. Get that linebacker. 55 in there. Good job. See the other angle. I want to watch everything from this angle, but I guess people don't trust me, so, we're going to watch it all. People aren't trusting my analysis. Here you go. Ride the wave. Simple. Boom. Ride the wave. Boom. Get up in there. Vertical. Look at that. So, let's see. If he bounces this out, he gets tackled about there. But because he gets vertical, he gets to like 2 more yards. Like, game of inches. Every yard counts. Here you go. See it? It's a goal line. You got to smell it. See it? Boom. Get vertical. Nice forward lean. Celebrate with the big guys. Celebrate with the big guys. I mean, that's all you need is a crease. Like, there's a guy there, but you got to make him miss. Run through him. This is a goal line. He's standing flat-footed. You got to run through him. Good job. Your job as running back is to make the first man miss. I don't care if it's your guy or somebody else's guy. You got to make the first person miss. Who was that? Looks like Frazier. Another. They're kind of sliding that way. But it kind of looks like everybody's supposed to be reaching, but they don't get there. And it ends up working out. But that's where that free player is. Okay. So maybe Skoranek should have blocked 44. I mean, it works out, but Broderick was there for 0. I think they're actually working to him. He actually disengages from the double team to get up to that linebacker. So it works out, but, and those are the small things where if the running back didn't make that guy miss, now it looks way worse for the O-line, you know what I mean? Which what they did, I mean, it worked out. It wasn't the best, but it did work, I like this. Maybe get your pads a little lower. Yeah, because, see, they got up under them. You don't never want your feet to be in the air. I would say just get your pads lower, but great job. Cut right in behind there. Let's see the other angle. Let's see how tight he was to that cut. And if it would have helped him at all. We go double tight end. Darnell Washington, I feel like he was a big factor in this run game for sure. So it looks like the play is to go that way. I'm not sure of this step. Just because of this. So maybe they're teaching it this way because they wanted to make it look like inside zone to the right. But when you do that and take that step, now you have to see how he's just diagonal. He's not really square to the line to be able to make a cut if he needed to. I do believe he made the right decision here. O-line did a pretty decent job. They couldn't get to the double team with Frazier and McCormick. It's just double teams all across. So this can't be right because we're using 6 people to block 3. But this is my point. Right here, we're using 6 people to block 3. There shouldn't be anything there. But because he gets downhill and gets vertical, he makes something out of nothing. And it looks like it wasn't bad there. The play wasn't bad. So they kind of got off of the ball super late. This left side did. Look, see, they're still in their stance. But this is that combo of Broderick Anderson and Washington, who kind of, for the first time, I see go backwards when engaged in the block. But wait a minute. Are you guys telling me he's engaged in a block? And he runs through the tackle? Interesting. You can run through an engaged blocks tackle, huh? Interesting. Nonetheless, good run, Kenny G. Let me see. This guy is kind of playing a two-way street, so he's even though he's moving towards the outside, he's still waiting just to play the inside. As you can see, he sheds, but it's not enough. That's a big guy. You got to get up off you. See this angle. Yeah, they get off super late. Okay, Broderick. See, Broderick and Samalu. This is the double team right here. Boom, lay down. Now maybe they got a little help from Frazier's legs, but it is what it is. This is what happens when you go through with your assignment. Boom. Broderick. I know that's not your guy, but he shows up in your face. It would have been nice just to get a chip on him, get a hand on him. But McCormick, you do got to get your head across. He had a tough time last week with that too. Nonetheless, this is a great run. I feel like, look at Anderson. Sheesh. I mean, it's a corner. So yeah, you better do that. I like the decision here, though. Just run through there, split the defenders. You're going to get some arm tackles. Nice game. Nice game for Gainwell, baby. Here we go. I believe this was for short yardage for first down. Look at that push. Oh, this time it's just Will Anderson over there at tight end. Well, Hayward's offset, but wow, look at the push. They just destroyed that side of the line. Good job. Might have been a good flop at the end, but hey, I'll take the penalty. Keep your hands to yourself, young man. Look at that. Movement. Go. Just go. Just go. Don't try to make people miss. None of that fancy stuff. Just go. You go toss. See. Who was that? Fatanu. Come on, Fatanu. Man. Like to see him get that block. Nonetheless, see the other angle. See if there's anything the running back could have done to help. Okay, so there's penetration here from Broderick's guy, but he gives him something to read at least. So he has to cut it up in there, which he does. Fatanu misses his block, which is the guy that he's trying to avoid. But, again, an engaged blocker in Darnell Washington, and that's not the guy who made the play. That's just an arm tackle. Okay. Nothing really there. Next play. There you go. Way to find it. So let's see this view. So if I'm being completely honest, I know I haven't been too critical of him yet, but let's get picky. Let's get picky. Let's just get a little picky, okay? So I feel like maybe he got off his track a little too soon. So here's what I mean by that. Boom, right here. Just keep going straight downhill, straight downhill. Because what happens is he ends up basically getting back over there, but it's wasted time, and it gives room for the other people, or not room, but more so space for other people to close in. So if he would have just stayed tight here, like when he gets the ball, just keep coming forward, 44 may just come straight down, and you're able to make a move on him sooner instead of getting here. And now you're at this angle trying to make a move on him, or, trying to do something to get away from him. And you only got one choice, and that's just to run out the gate, which works. And you break 2 tackles. So like I said, this is just being picky. This is literally being picky. And I think it does show up, though, in his game where he's kind of like out of whack and his body control is kind of all over the place. So just being a little bit more controlled, in the situations. But that wasn't a bad run at all. That's me being picky. There you go, ride the wave. Look at that, man. Just look at this. Okay. Oh my goodness. This looked like the same clip as last week almost, where Darnell Washington is blocking him the way that he's running, and he just runs through it, and it's just an arm tackle. I guess, and Kenny Gainwell knows how to play running back, right? Yikes. There you go. I feel like you made the right decision. Good job, Skoranek. See, that's another thing too. I am definitely bummed that Calvin Austin's out, but I think in a weird way it's going to force us to have better run blocking on run games. Like a run game on the perimeter, I think it may be a little better. As much as I love Calvin Austin and think he's an asset for our team and we do need him, I think it's going to force that a little bit. But nonetheless, that's a good run by Kenny. Keep your feet moving. Just get a little lower. Just get a little lower. You don't have no leverage. Like even here, it looks like you're still just running. You should be getting ready for that contact. To me, this is a little late, and you're bending up top more so than from a base with your legs, and you should be bending at the hips more so. You have no power like that, and that's why it just goes sideways instead of forward. That's another thing I think he should work on too. His forward lean, just getting down, and there you go. Gave you a butt to read, and you cut right off of it. Who's this? Calvin Anderson. Gotta get off, get to that double team. Might get something here. And still, just ride the wave, follow your guys. That's a great game. That is a great game. There you go. Ride it out. Now, I'm sure Darnell. Nah, he's okay with that block. I think if Calvin Anderson gets off his a little sooner, might have a better play. But nonetheless, it's not a bad play though. That's definitely the type of runs you want to have. And the whole time he's running forward, which is what I appreciate. There's not really any stopping. He's going forward while he's running. See, like right here. Whew. I know he wants this one back. I know it. See, right here. Now, this is what I want you guys to notice. When he makes his cut on this guy, he kind of throws his head forward as well instead of bending at his hips and planting. So it should be more bend at your hips. You see how his head is over his feet? His head should not be over his feet. He should be bending at the hips and using his shoulder to give the defender, act like he's going outside and give that step. That's how that defender misses right there. He kind of uses his head instead of using his shoulders. He should be bending at the hips, using the shoulders, boom. He just would have had better balance. That's all. So right here you can see. So you'll see here, if he, instead of, you see how he's kind of leaning forward and he's not bending at the waist. His knees aren't really bent. He's not bent at the waist. He's kind of just leaned over with his head. And that's what causes his balance to be out of whack. Now, if he just gets his hips low and uses his shoulders, he can still use head motion to, get that guy fake. But it shouldn't be forward, though. Because you see here, he's off balance here. He's already off balance. So all it takes is that guy's arm. If he has more of a sturdy base here and he's not off balance here, then he runs that in easily. That's an easy touchdown. It's still a good run. It just could have been a better run. That's all. But I love this here. Look, follow the blockers, press the gap, left foot, stick. He gets vertical, and look what happens when he gets vertical. He's pressing this guy's toes. Boom. He gets vertical. That guy knows that he has to guard the outside because there's nobody out there but him. So with that, he knows he has the leverage on him. Boom. That guy gets an arm out. He's out of whack, so it's a tackle. But I think that is something that I want to see Kenny do a little better. Touchdown. Here we go. This is when you're supposed to just, kind of lower your shoulder and get in there. You got to smell the zone, But again, let's see. See the line. Boom. Who's that? DK. DK kind of misses that guy. That looks like the last time when Broderick thought he was gonna have that guy. There you go. Goal line, gotta go. Made a guy miss. Get in there. Celebrate with the lineman. Good job. There's a lot of Hayward, too. Let me see. Did he maybe miss that one? Nope. So I thought initially maybe he can go in there, but I see that guy kind of come off. Rogers guy come off, so that's not there. He makes the right decision. He runs past an engaged blocker. Gets downhill, shoulder down. Love to see it. See this angle. See. Little misdirection again. Boom. I like the first step. Look at 55. Look at number 2. Now look, even though it's a subtle movement, because he does a great job selling this, look at 0. He's just standing there. And it gives DK a chance to make this block. Now all he has to do is touch him, and he's out of the play. All he has to do is get in his way, and he's out of the play. He doesn't have to make a spectacular block now because the guy read it already, and he's, already running downhill. That action causes him to stay still here. It makes DK's job a little easy. Now he just got to get hands on him, and he's done it. His job is done. Good job, good run. That's good execution there. That's good execution. That's literally taking what they're giving you, literally, on the ground. There you go. Wow. See this is exactly what I mean. Look, so who is that? Oh, Skoranek. That's a tough job. But he does his job. He doesn't get there. Samalu kind of helps him out, and that kind of takes away from one person. Darnell Washington fell. Okay. So maybe that shouldn't even have happened, but nonetheless, it was there and it worked out. And this is what I mean. This is your job as a running back. You have to make these guys right because it's not always pretty. It is not always going to be right. Everybody's not going to get their assignment. Everybody's not going to block who they're supposed to, and you have to make them right. And how you do that is sticking to what you do, what you're supposed to do in your guidelines as a running back. That's why it's so important. The running back position is kind of, I don't want to say, it's just very underrated. It's very underrated. Boom, just get up in there. Because instead of you keep dancing right here, look, boom, go. Just go. Get downhill, get what you can. It all counts. It all counts. That's a great run. Seems so simple, but it's a great run. There you go. Look at Kenny G, man. Kenny G. I'm ready to say RB1. I'm ready to say RB1. Now, I'm not saying I have not seen Jaylen Warren do this. But it's because he runs like this all game that it starts to break like this. Because look, Samalu does not even get a good block. Look, there's not really good blocks. Freiermuth, he doesn't really have control on that guy. Samalu doesn't really get a good block, but he gets enough. He makes him go the other way, and because the running back is where he's supposed to be, he still is able to make the play. Because that's all Samalu has to do is get in the way. Just create a little bit of space in between the defender and the ball carrier. And once you're able to do that, if you can get any bit of space in between them, it's up to the running back after that. I don't care how you do it, how it looks, it's up to the running back after that. And Kenny G made it happen. This is what it is to be a running back. This is what it means. That's what it means. He made about 3 people miss. Big gain here. Crucial gain here. Let's see. Look. The blocking isn't great. It's not great. Broderick's in the backfield. Nobody really has their guy blocked. The lane is supposed to be, let me see. Okay, it's supposed to be where Samalu is. But these guys don't really get up to the double teams. McCormick does. Who is this here? It's sloppy, I wouldn't say sloppy, but it's just not perfect. But because he's where he's supposed to be, he makes those guys right. That's what it means to be a running back. You have to make those guys right because it's not always pretty. Okay, who gets beat? Let's see. This one maybe. I understand because right here, it does look like that guy could beat you outside. But I think maybe he should have continued outside and try to get around this edge with Hayward. Probably wants this one back. And another thing, I mean, I think he should take a more vertical step, but I understand, like, you know, you're in the backfield, you just trying to make that guy, you thinking he's going to swipe pass. Let's see this angle. Yeah, so this also may be one where he might be a little too tight to the line, and that's why 58's able to shed his blocks not so easily, but so Broderick is trying to fight outside, and so you see how his track kind of changes. Now he runs out. It's like he's diagonal. Boom. Then he got to turn a little bit more. I think he should have been wider from the jump, and that would have made 58 feel like he had to fight outside. But now he could just use Broderick's momentum and just jump in there in that gap. Yeah, I think this maybe should have went outside. I understand how difficult that would have been with him, but I think his track would have helped him as well with getting out there. So that's another example where, you know, it looks bad. And that's another thing, too. That ball security kind of scares me. I'm not going to lie. I got to say it now. Boom. I mean, I see it. Let's see how it. Who shot through like that? That's a linebacker playing hard, man. But I know you didn't see him. That's a hard one. This is me being picky again. Just run. I know McCormick's kind of, you know, figuring it out. But just run here. Boom. There's definitely a lane. It's a small one. It's a diagonal lane. It's a hard play to make. But it's there to make. Looks like he gets down to the one here. I'm going to punch this one in. I find it interesting that they went to... Okay. Fryer move here. So they're mixing it up, how they're using that package, because Calvin Anderson was still out there on the other side. I wonder if they would throw him the ball. I mean, I guess you got to keep it a possibility, right? There you go. Way to get downhill. Let's see. So, Fatanu's guy, look what he does to Fatanu's guy. He makes him think he's going to run through there. It makes his block easy. Do you see what I'm saying about getting vertical? Look, this is it. Look, shoulder, boom. He leans out there. Makes 93 think he's going to have to reach out there. Now Fatanu's block is cake. It's easy. And this is how you help your linemen. It's not about making everybody miss. It's about knowing when to get vertical, when to plant your foot in the ground, and when to turn that gear on. Boom. Let's see the other angle. That's a great job. Boom. It's that subtle movement. Boom. See, he's hit there. Extra yard or two. It all counts, I promise. An extra yard or two all counts. And again, the blocking it's not perfect. It's actually all over the place. The blocking is all over the place. But yet, he makes them right and picks up what? What is this? About a 5-yard gain, 4 or 5-yard gain. And the blocking isn't good. It isn't good, but it's enough. And when it's there, you gotta make the most of it. You gotta make the most of it. And I believe that's what he did. You got a double tight end. Come on, Hayward. If you're going to go out of the design play, you better make something happen. Let me see. Because if Hayward gets this block, there's something there. Okay, let's see the other angle. Made something happen and he got upfield. He didn't just run sideways. He made sure he got upfield. Man, if Hayward can get... it wasn't really there. They don't get off to this double team. That linebacker's free. Yeah, there was nothing really there. He pretty much made these guys right. Because what do you have to do as a running back? Make the first guy miss? He makes 2. Let's see. Touched here. Contact here. Falls forward for 5 more yards. I mean, it all counts. That's how you get those 100-yard games. Man, nothing. This must have been a 4th down. They're just selling out. There's a leak between, who's that? Broderick and Calvin Anderson. It's pretty much a leak everywhere. Let's see it from the other angle. And let's see if Kenny could have did anything to help his guys. I mean, from that angle, it didn't look like it. But, okay, so Samalu and Frazier kind of knocked their guy back. McCormick is getting not pushed back. Who else is? Yeah, they just execute better. They wanted it more right here. We got too many guys with their heads down, whiffing. Broderick, Calvin, look, they both do the same thing. Tanu kind of moves the guy. Never really a chance. That really never had a chance. Oh, yeah, that was the last 4th. That was that 4th down. Well, made it 4th down, and then we punted it. But, nonetheless, I feel like the run game this week was better. And I feel like it was better because of the running back. I feel like the O-line is still kind of doing what they've been doing. And they've been creating lanes. They've been creating lanes, and I feel like it's just going to be an ongoing thing where it's just going to get better over time. Now, I do feel like Kenny G kind of came into this opportunity and made the most of it. He looked hungry, you know. He looked prepared. He looked ready for this moment. He looked like he'd been here before, and it kind of looked like it's his job. But I understand how it's going to work. I understand, you know, Warren just got his money and everything, and he's RB1. And he's going to be RB1 until he does terrible. So I get how that's going to go. But to me, Kenny G, he played a great game. I think he did very well. The thing I think he has to work on is just, when he's making cuts and explosive cuts and everything, just bending at the waist more so than, leaning forward, leaning your head forward and things like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, Kenny G, Pittsburgh Steelers advance. We got a bye week next week, couple injuries, couple crucial injuries, but I think we should be okay. Hopefully we can continue this run game. I appreciate you guys taking the time out and just watching this video with me and, going through this film with me. And I appreciate all comments. I promise you they don't bother me. I like to have debates. I like to talk about things. If you see something that I don't see, point it out. I'm here to learn just as well as you guys. So I'm never above the program. I'm always here to take. If I'm wrong, I am wrong. And it is what it is. Please tell me I'm wrong because I want to get it right. And I want to know what's right. I want to know the right thing. I'm only here for the truth, folks. Thank you. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys want to see. If you want to see other running backs around the league or anything you guys want to see, just let me know. We out of here, baby.